Hey guys, and welcome back to your girl Brittany. Thanks so much for hanging out, and a happy Hump Day Handmade. This is where the last Wednesday of every month for the rest of the year we'll be sharing a handmade project that does not require any machines or dies to create. So thank you so much, and a big shout out to Paulette, who is Scrappy Tate, and Ebony, who is sharing more, for hosting this shindig. And make sure you check out all the other ladies and see what they come up with and create it down below in the description box. If you have missed out on the first few months, don't worry, I have that playlist down below for you, so you can go ahead and review and watch that. So for today, mine was inspired by Sam Colcott, who is Mixed Up Crafts here on YouTube, and I was actually going to make this a long time ago, but then I got distracted and I forgot about it, and now I'm bringing it back up primarily because I needed something to make for this month. But it is a roll-up box. Now Sam's, I can't remember how big hers was, but hers was a bit bigger, so I decided I wanted something smaller and to shrink it down. So this is how mine looks. And of course, I used a garden party collection to decorate my box. It's so cute. And I have little shakers on the side here, and then all we do is we open her up, and then everything starts to unroll. So the boxes measure 2 by 2 by 4. So it is 2 inches across, 2 inches high, and then 2 or 4 inches in length. And so with 4 boxes, and then the finishing portion of the box, not including the 1-inch handles, but the finishing portion measures out to be 4 by 4. So this will be absolutely perfect to send in a Happy Mail, like just this box alone, and then, you know, all your little fun goodies. It'll also be something super great for Mother's Day, since that's coming up around the corner as well. So I absolutely love how this came out, and it swear it turned out good. There was a little bit of lost footage, so I had to try to tweak the tutorial a little bit, so in that way I can go ahead and revamp and get that lost footage in there for you guys. But if you would like to sit up there and see how I made this, alright, so for this project we're going to need 4 pieces that measure 8.5 squared, so that's 8.5 by 8.5, and then we're going to need a piece that measures 4 by 9, and then a piece that measures 4 by 11. And so if you're not going to do matting and you're going to use the paper collection that you're going to use, then this works out great. But otherwise, I'll let you know what steps that you need to look out for if before putting it together, if you're going to be matting your decorative cardstock onto solid cardstock. So starting off with our 8.5 by 8.5 squared, on one of the 8.5 sides you are going to score at 1/2 inch. Starting off on one of the 8.5 sides, you're going to score at 2, 6, and 8, and then you're just going to rotate it over, and you're going to score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, you're going to do that to all 4 of your pieces. I have 3 of my boxes done already, so I'm not gonna I'm just going to show you how to cut and assemble the one box. And then on your 4 by 11 piece, on your long side, we are, there we go, we're going to score at 2, 4, 8, and 10. And again, this information will be down below and also on my blog. And then this one, this is your 4 by 9, and we are going to score this one at 2, 6, and 8. All right, so starting off with our 8.5 by 8.5 squared, we're going to go ahead and varnish our score lines. So starting like this, if you have your cardstock, if you have your 1/2 inch on the bottom and then your 1/2 inch on your left hand side, what we're going to do is, this is your tab that's going to adhere your box together. So this small rectangle here, and then this rectangle and small square here, we're going to cut those out. Okay, and so now we have our tab on the right hand side. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut up on the score line, the second score line, on all of these boxes here. Okay, so our first tab, or with our first box that is closest to your tab, we're just going to do an angle cut on that 1/2 inch part. Then for the next one, we're going to cut in half. This next one, we're going to completely remove. And then for the last one, we're going to cut in half. And then I'm just going to cut these at an angle as well. This one I cut a little too short. Oh well. So then it looks like that. So we're going to flip it around. And then for these last ones, we're just going to cut up on the score line, the ones that are here at the bottom. And there's that. So if you want to keep the one as a template to be able to look at as you do the rest of your boxes, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. So now there are pieces that, so this is our 4x9. We're going to go ahead and varnish these score lines. Alright, like so. So this is a handmade project, you know, all handmade, no dyes, no cutting machine. But this 1 inch portion at the top of these one, because this is going to connect together. If you want to create a handle of some sort, so if you want to use a die to create like a carrying handle or something like that, go ahead and do this part now. You're going to want to adhere them together, so one's on the outside and they're facing each other this way. You're going to want to put them together and then run it through, put your die on and run it through your die cutting machine. Otherwise, if you want to use a hole punch, or if you just want to use like a clip or something to adhere the pieces together, go ahead and do that portion now. But if you are matting pieces on here, I would mat your pieces first, then run it through your die cutting machine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to mat my outside first before I do anything else. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. Alright, so I got my outside pieces matted. I left on the 4x9 piece, I left the first 2 inch empty, and then on my 4x11 piece I left the two 2 inch pieces. So this is scored at 2 and then this is scored at 4. I left these 2 pieces blank, but then I went ahead and matted the other pieces, and then I just used my little heart punch at the top for my closure. So we're going to put that to the side for right now, and we are going to adhere the boxes together. So we're going to go ahead and fold over our little flap. Take your adhesive of choice. Of course, we all know I love my hot glue. And go ahead and adhere that on. Ooh, my glue got a little too hot. And go ahead and do that. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to fold over our flaps here, just like that. And then we're going to adhere that close. And then this top piece, it just closes. It's just your closing element like that. And so we're going to go ahead and do this to the rest of the 3 pieces that we have. So now all 4 of the boxes are put together. What we're going to do is we're going to take our base piece. And then so this one here, your 4x11, this first flap right here, we're going to line it up onto this first 2 inch flap on the other side. So it's going to go together like this, right on top. So you want this one to be on top of this one here. And so I'm going to cut just a small sliver off the edge so it doesn't overlap with the score line. And I'm going to use my ATG tape, and then I'm also going to use my wet glue to adhere. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and line it up. and then smooth it out. All right, so usually I like to mat my stuff before I put them together, but the best way to know that you're getting everything the way that you want it, you might want to hold off on the matting piece portion unless you're actually using the decorative cardstock itself. So when your box is all together, when it's all closed, it's going to lay together like this. But the thing is, when you unravel it, it's going to unravel differently, if that makes sense. It's going to unravel differently like this, so your boxes are all spaced out like this. So you don't want your opening lips to be coming out differently. Like, see how these are going? So like we have one that's going to the right, one's going to the bottom, one's going to the side, and one's going up to the top. So we want to make sure that we're getting it so that when it's closed, it doesn't matter. The whole point is to open it up, and then it's like, oh, look, you know, pretty boxes. So we want to make sure that when it's open, they're all going the same direction. So depending on how you want your person to open it up, like if you want them to open it from the side like this, or if you want it to open like this or from the top, that's how you want to adhere it down. Me, I want my person to be able to open it with the flap like this, opening it down like this. So that is how I want to adhere the pieces together. So let's remove these. So starting with one of my boxes, so the pieces that I adhered together, that's where I'm going to lay my first box. So I'm going to take my wet glue, and I'm going to lay that directly down, trying to get it within those score lines the best I can. There might be a little bit of overhang, but not too much where it deems it to be crazy looking. And then I want to make sure I smooth it down. So I'm going to take my second box, making sure that my lip is opening from the bottom. And so we have this 1-inch portion, and then this 2-inch portion, and then we have this big 4-inch. So looking at it again, I want my lip to be coming out this way. So I'm going to turn it to its side and lay it right on top of my other box. So then when it closes, when it opens up, it comes up like that. So I'm going to add my glue here on the side. So again, now my lip is on the side. I'm going to lay it right on top of the box. I'm going to close my left panel and then add it together. And now I'm going to open it up, so that way I can smooth it out. So if that's a lot easier to understand, then hopefully it is. So here's my other one. Again, my lip is on the bottom. That's how I want it to open up. This piece is going to go, so here, this was originally our 11-inch piece. So we have the 1-inch lip, 2-inch, 4, and then 2. Now when it closes, it's going to close like this. It's going to look like this when it closes. It's going to be laying right next to this box. So if we close it all together like that, that's how it's going to be so far, right? So I want to lay it next to the box. Again, now my lip is to the right. I'm going to add my glue. I'm going to set it right next to my box. I'm going to lift my flap, and then I'm going to bring it down. Alright, so one more piece. So here's our last box. Again, I want my lip to open up like this. When it's closed, this is what the box will look like, right? Okay, so now we have our last box, my camera, I didn't realize, had stopped recording on me, and so I had already have my stuff matted, as you can see, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to adhere the last box. So we just finished off with this one, so now our last one, again, starting with the lip going this way, because when we start to close her up, it'll close like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the glue onto this piece here, and then we're just gonna lay it down, and that is the 2-inch piece right here. And we're going to smooth it all out, and then just close up all of our boxes here. So then now when we go ahead and we start to fold it all together, we have our cute little roll-up box all set and ready to go. And then you can go ahead and decorate it however you like.